What's good, y'all? I'm out here on the ground again, and I want to try to address this whole uh, issue or misunderstanding of what disrespect looks like, because I think a lot of y'all missed so many things with this whole Corey and Anton thing. So y'all think that Corey somehow broke some code or went too far or whatever, but I think it's because a lot of people simply don't understand the repeated ways and levels in which Anton disrespected Corey first. So let's just take the start of the show. He gets there and he's trying to bring somebody, allegedly, we don't know if this is true, but he's trying to bring somebody on the show that's unplanned. You can't do that. That's unprofessional. You don't do that. But you can let that slide. So then you get on the show, and then once you get on camera, you make a comment about being on time. That's not cool. That's unprofessional. All things that could be slid to the side, though. So then the conversation starts, and Corey's trying to ask him questions. He's being evasive. He's not answering questions, which is extremely annoying if you're on somebody's platform and they're interviewing you. You won't answer a question. But then the whole comment is made about Anton kissing the ass of the white man, so he responds with, "You suck D of black people." So this is the part that I think people are missing a lot. So when a man tells you, "Hey, I don't play like that," that is them saying that you may or may not understand where their boundary is. So rather than react, they'll just tell you. And I would liken it to when people from the East Coast go out on the West Coast and they're in gang territory, like especially back in the day, and somebody would have to come up and say, "Yo, cuz, you can't be wearing that color around here." They're not going to off rip, shoot you, jump you, or whatever. They might, but a lot of times the older ones won't. They'll just tell you, "Hey, you can't wear that," because they assume you don't know. And if you remember, Corey said something to this effect. So he says, "Hey, I don't play with that." And Anton's response is, "I don't care about none of that." It's a horrible thing to say. Because now it's no longer an issue of you being unaware that you disrespected me. You saying you don't care that you disrespected me, which is a big difference. So then, at some point they get in each other's face, still arguing back and forth. And at one point, he says, "Whatever, I don't play with that D sucking stuff." And he says, "You doing it right now." Triple down. He's telling you, this is where I draw the line. I don't talk like this. Anton decides to say, "We could go out back right now." Now this is communicating. Not only do I know what you find disrespectful, I don't care that you feel disrespected by it. I'm gonna say it again to disrespect you further. And if you really want me to stop, fight me for it. Otherwise, whatever. So then Corey moves to, "I bet you won't say it again." Now this is the final the final pass to a person. Because basically what the message means is, I want to make sure you really about this action that you're trying to get out of me. So I'm going to give you this last chance to clean yourself up before I clean you up. And that's why he put the microphone down and said, "I bet you won't say it again." And the reason why he ended up picking his mic back up and sitting back where he was is because Anton refused to say it again. What he basically communicated was, "I am afraid to go there because I don't really want what it is, but I'ma still try to dance around and insult you where I feel it's safe," which is annoying. So it's like, I'm not gonna give you that excuse to clock me in my teeth, but I'm still gonna persistently insult you. So then he starts to switch it up to underhanded remarks. you too busy, you don't have the capacity, you talking a lot but you're not saying much. These are all things to insinuate that Corey's of lesser intelligence, which again is not a good thing to do for certain people. And this is why you hear Corey saying stuff like, I'm just trying to let you know that around certain people, you have to move a certain way. Because he's, again, trying to warn him that the path he is traveling has very, very precarious results at the end of it. But Anton refused to listen. So then, it switches to Corey trying to talk to him in a different way about the whole traveling with the girl. And you see Anton start to get really uncomfortable. And then when he says, I know you know what I'm talking about because you are a very intelligent man. Now, a lot of people may say, oh, well, that's him trying to insult his intelligence the same way. It's not. There's a difference between somebody having a disagreement and saying, oh, you're too smart for that, because that's dismissing what they said as being ignorant. So you're saying you're too smart to say something dumb. But to look a person in the face and say, I know you get it because you are a very intelligent man. Again, not very intelligent person, not very intelligent guy, a very intelligent man. I think that was his words. I could be wrong on that part. But he's genuinely telling him, you smart. You know what I'm saying right now. Because he didn't want to be like, you up here with somebody else. She's off camera. We don't know that. We don't know. At the time, we have no idea that he's there with another person. So it's a one-on-one that only the people in that room understand. And if the interview would have continued and they would have left, we still never would have known. But it didn't go that way. So then Anton's still further playing this man like he's stupid. I don't know what you're talking about. You don't. Again, if you understand how to move around certain people, you understand this is just something you don't do. So he goes with the whole talk to me like whatever, like a C student. And I can tell you the reason why I'm assuming he did this is because then if Corey flat out says it, now Corey's the bad guy for outing him, because he even tried to spin it that way. And another thing, who does that, who outs people, whatever, and then you can try to say, oh, well, I was trying to get her on this, and then try to pull her up. And it's a chess move. It was okay, but again, it's insulting. So, to keep this from going too long, so he ends up storming out, and then once he's no longer in the studio, he goes on this disrespect tour for a week. All these shows, you know how many times you heard him say he was shaking like a leaf? He was scared. I bullied him in his backyard, in his city. I disrespected him over and over and over again, and he didn't do nothing. He didn't want nothing. I would have knocked him out. I would have beat all this stuff he's been saying on platform after platform after platform after platform for an entire week. But doing so, not in this man's face. It's different if you say all that in somebody's face. He didn't. He said it somewhere else. And just because a lot of people are stuck on, well, he said let's go outside and Corey didn't. He didn't go outside because he didn't feel like he was worth it. Because when he said, I bet you won't say it again, he didn't. I know people. I've been in that situation where somebody say, I bet you won't say it again. What you do in that is you either apologize and fall back from it, or you say it 5 times in a row. But anyway, he goes on the whole disrespect tour for a week, and then Corey roasts him and his people for 3 hours. And y'all want that to not be even? You got to remember, Anton said you don't get to measure disrespect. And what Anton failed to realize is he was disrespecting a person that was willing to go there. And he told him, this is a dangerous game to play because it could go bad. Sometimes when a person is warning you about what could happen, they warning you about what they might do. Not always what could happen from somebody else, but what they're capable of. And again, you gotta be mindful of just outright blatantly disrespecting people, especially disrespecting another man, especially disrespecting another man that's your elder. And the thing of it is you can't always throw money at it to fix it, which is the hard lesson that's being learned right now. You can't throw money at this. Even if you sue and win a lawsuit, If the stuff that we hear is true about the daughter, you ain't fixing that with money. The way that the wife looks at you ain't getting fixed with money. The way that Mika feels about you ain't getting fixed with money. A man called her out her name in your presence and you did nothing. So, like I said, I see a lot of people saying a bunch of stuff and you don't get it, and I know why. It's because a lot of the people that's surrounding this generation, and sadly apparently mine as well, didn't have OGs around them to explain it. So I'm trying to kick some game to y'all so you don't make these mistakes. But fellas, if you learn nothing from this, if a person tells you, hey, I don't play like that, either cease and desist or full steam ahead and be prepared for the worst case scenario, because some people ain't gonna give you that many warnings. Peace.